down, please, bro, is the standard Americana. So someone is mounted. Of course, cross chokes and arm locks and sleeve chokes and all of that are possible. But one of the most common techniques used by the big guys is they just want to grab your arm, muscle it to the ground, and once they get it there, they're coming under, they're locking it, and they're going to rip your arm off. It really is that simple. And if they're much bigger than you, they will be successful. Why do so many people get caught in the Americana? Because the most natural tendencies, there's two instinctive responses to the Americana attempt that are both going to get you caught. The first instinct is, as I'm trying to force his arm down, Anthony just resists, like makes his arm strong to try to avoid going down. Now naturally I have gravity on my side, so as he resists, his resistance will give me time to insert and lock. In other words, by him resisting my push down, the inevitable push down, he leaves a window of opening for me to be able to go in and lock the arm lock. So resisting, as you can tell, can cause problems that way. The other most common counter that causes problems is if the arm does get down, the use of this hand to grab your arm to try to pull it back in. People turn and grab and want to bring the arm back home. This is very common. The one risk there is as soon as you turn, as we all know, you put yourself in the arm, modified mount, and I can finish with the straight arm lock side variation. So that's a cool technique right there, by the way. You go for the Americana, they turn, you take the arm. So both of those will get you caught. So we need an Americana defensive mindset or strategy that won't make the situation worse. As I push Anthony's arm down, the first thing, number one, is that if he can keep his hand trapped so I don't push it down, it's all good. But let's say I'm going for the neck, defend your neck, and all of a sudden I get his arm and I get it down. The first, number one thing is he wants to go to the ground in a hurry. Keep his elbow nailed to the ground so that I can't get the underhook. And the key there is he wants to get there before me. He wants to get his elbow to the ground before I get under it. So if I get it, he goes all the way, boom, and he nails his arm down. This is a heavy elbow right here. With the elbow nailed, the guy's gonna insist on coming under. And at this point, he's gonna bridge his hips, push my ribs or armpit, and buck me that way. That's gonna cause me to post out. And when I do, he's gonna bring his hands back in. So stand by, he tucks, tuck, tuck, buck and push, go ahead, boom, and bring your hands back in and just defend, or go to an elbow escape or whatever. One more time. So if I do muscle it, get it down all the way. Chill right here, make sure you can't get under, make sure you can't get under. Quick buck, quick recovery, yes. And the hands are right back in. So you basically, when someone commits to the Americana, their arms are busy, right? They're occupied for the arm lock. When you buck them, they don't have base. So instinctively, they're gonna wanna post their hands out. And when they do, they give you space to come right back in. So the idea of using these base checks, it's a universal principle. It's used in many other situations. The idea of checking someone's base to cause them to post out and distract them essentially for some recovery. My turn. So from here, if the arm does get pinned, I go with it. Go ahead and get under my elbow. Not happening. How do I keep my elbow so heavy? This foot over here. Yeah, it's so incredible. By pushing off of this foot, I lift my butt off the ground barely, and by lifting my hips up a little bit, I can push down on my elbow more aggressively, making it more weighted, more heavy. So I'm definitely set right here. Okay, he's gonna get low, start trying to fight underneath there. Okay, from here, bridge, push, and go. Obviously, for this move to work, for the bump and recover to work, Anthony can't have his hook in. If his hook is in deep, that is why this is the correct application. The hook prevents me from rolling him. So that's right. Anthony, if he's doing this, should do this hook. Now I would need to untangle the hook and tuck my foot in close to my butt so that Anthony doesn't have the hook over here, which would then allow me to buck. Boom. Now if he falls, he falls. It's all good. Sometimes they're so focused on the arm lock that they lose their balance. So if he falls, great, get on top of the fight. If he doesn't fall, I come back and I defend my arms. Okay, one more time. So there you have it. Now, let's say he gets it down. That's the bump and recover, early recovery. Let's say Anthony is able to sneak past my elbow, so he starts getting in. In other words, my heavy elbow wasn't good enough. Life is pretty much terrible right now because he has my arm fully locked. If he just lifts my elbow and starts to twist, game over. It's that quick once he gets in there. So let's just say, go back out, bro. Let's say as Anthony starts to creep under, as he starts to creep, I start feeling, okay, he's getting in. At that point, what I need to do is take Anthony's center of gravity from here and position it on the hands. I want his weight to be on the hands because go ahead and get under. If he locks it up and I get him here, squeeze the arm lock. He can't squeeze because there's so much weight on the unit over here. I've shifted my hips up and I'm pushing him a little bit. There's so much weight on the hands that he can't squeeze the arm lock. And then from there, if he insists, we go all the way over, Boom. And if he ends up with the arm lock right here, lock it up. If he ends up with the Americana, he can still squeeze right now pretty painfully. It hurts. Unless, watch my elbow, keep it tight. I get my elbow in the armpit. Here, boom. And you can use this hand to help that if you need. But once the elbow's in the armpit, squeeze now. Kill the leverage. Okay, so we're rolling the person out basically. The emergency escape for the Americana is to roll the person in the direction of the arm lock. So he gets it down, boom. My elbow's heavy, I'm fighting. But let's say he's too strong. I can't bump and recover soon enough. He does get under. He does get under. At this point, don't stop right here. If you stop for 1 second, he rips over there. The key is get Anthony's weight over here. And you can do it in one continuous roll. You can go one continuous roll. That's pretty much how it would normally go down. But what I wanted to illustrate before was how if you take their center of gravity and you shift it over the arm lock, their squeeze potential is greatly reduced because the weight is on the hands. Did you feel that? Like you can't even move the hand anymore because you shifted it. Try it on me once. Right, here's good. So let's say I get it down. So if you can't get under, you can bump and recover, you're all good. But let's say you mess up. I start pushing it, you resist. So I get it like at this point, boom. At this point, don't throw me, just bridge right now and get me to the halfway point. Slow, just hold your hips a little higher and keep me right here. Just keep, yeah, I can't slide anymore. Yeah, and now roll all the way, bridge and go. Boom, get it in the armpit. Yeah, it's done right here. So, true